Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Hazeeq and welcome to my The Last of Us Top 10 Tips and Tricks. Now, I've been planning to make this video for a long time now, and I just want to make sure that all my tips and tricks actually make sense and they are useful for you guys to become better at The Last of Us. Now, I will have 10 top tricks for you, and these are basically tricks that I know and use because I've been playing The Last of Us for a long time, and these are basically old experience tips and tricks, and they're gonna be basically what should you do and what you shouldn't. So let's start off with our trick number 1. So the first thing that you mostly are not doing, and most of the people are not doing, is actually staying near your team. Now that is the most important thing in The Last of Us, because if you're not playing with the team and the other team is like 3 players together, like holding off together, and you're pretty much screwed, guys. I mean, you're gonna get killed, let's be honest. But if you stay with your team and you're like going or like capturing an area and just staying in there and camping, and you're gonna pretty much take out people easily. But you know, even if they come like 2-3 players, it's gonna be really easy for you. And basically, if you play with your friends and use the mic to communicate, that is even more better, so that you can know when the enemy is coming or whatever you should do. Basically, that's the thing. So moving on to our second tip. Don't craft health kits. Now, health kits are actually not a thing that you should craft, because they are all around the map, and if you memorize the locations, you're pretty much never gonna need to craft a health kit again, unless you're in a really death or live situation and you need a health kit so badly, then go ahead and craft it. But in all honesty, most times you're gonna get the health kit is by, you know, finding it somewhere. And to be honest with you guys, I've almost learned all the places of the health kits in pretty much every single map in The Last of Us. So tip number 3, weapon upgrades. So I recommend upgrading each one of your weapons at least once in a match. Now the weapon upgrades the ammo capacity, the reload speed, the accuracy, and I believe the damage on some weapons. I'm not sure if that's the case, but these are a lot. These actually mean a lot to you guys, because these are the most important stats of the weapon. And like, if they're getting upgraded and your opponent doesn't have a weapon upgraded, then you're gonna have a slight advantage there. I wouldn't say slight, actually, it's kind of a big advantage. You know, if you have more ammo and both of you are using the same weapon, then you're probably gonna win that gunfight. So that's a thing. Now moving on to our fourth tip. Sorry, guys. Shoot off enemy armor. Now when you actually down an enemy and he is wearing an armor, you might actually get him, I don't know, with a upgraded melee weapon that doesn't actually damage his armor. Then you gotta shoot off his armor. Don't perform a special execution, guys. Shoot off his armor with your pistol or whatever you've got, so that it gets destroyed, because otherwise next time he spawns he will have that armor on, and that's not going to be very good for you and your team. So that's kind of a tactical tip there. Keep that in mind always. And let's move on to our 5th tip. Use your points in a smart way. Now this is basically the same thing that I said about the weapon upgrades, but this one is kind of more advanced one. So you should not purchase armor like some people do, because they do it really often, and the armor isn't that cheap in multiplayer. So you better waste your points for upgrading your weapons or building or I don't know, like anything else but except the armor. So that's the thing, guys. Now I would recommend getting the armor only if you're the last man standing, or only if you have no spawns left in the supply raid mode in The Last of Us. Moving on to our 6th tip. Craft modded melee weapons. Now, about this one, guys, now probably most of you already know this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. If you go to your crafting table or whatever it is, when you press select actually, so you go to your backpack basically, and you can craft things. And if you go to the very top, you will see that you can upgrade your melee weapon to a one-hit down melee weapon. Now, you get these melee weapons from supply boxes around the map, and usually you get them from the middle ones, the ones that are located in the middle of the map. Sometimes you get them from the enemy side or the enemy spawn place. Yeah, but most likely it's gonna be in the middle of the map. So, and you're just gonna go and craft it, and I think now it gives you 2 hits because before we had 1 hit with it, but now you actually get 2 hits, and after the second hit it actually destroys, but you keep your melee weapon, but the the kind of shitty thing, or the little iron thing that he places on the melee so that you can one hit your enemy is gonna get destroyed, and you're gonna have to craft it again. Now, number 8, don't use special executions. Now, this is actually a very, very important one, guys. And basically, when you special execute someone, you're actually vulnerable, and anyone can shoot you, and you're gonna pretty much die. Now, when I first started playing The Last of Us, I was like, oh, this guy's down, I gotta get a special execution on him. Now, there's nothing cool about the special execution except the thing that there's, kind of cool animation, and the only thing that it gives you in terms of the weapon and your points is actually 25 more points than you do get from basically killing him with your pistol or just hitting him with your with your square button, sorry. So that's not a thing that you should do unless you're in a really in a situation where there is nobody near you and you're sure of that, and then you can special execute him just for the sake of a couple more points. I'd say 25 points, not a couple. But yeah, so guys, keep that in mind. Make sure you don't always use a special execution because you're gonna pretty much die always. And no, that's 25. That's actually 60% of my death are actually from the special executions. Now, I'm actually not doing them that often, so that makes my game a little bit more easier. Now, the actual number 8 now, guys, I actually said that the number 8 was the don't use special executions one, but don't mind, guys, that was the number 7. Now, the number 8, guys, is missions. Now, time from time, you'll get missions that you have to complete in order to keep your population growing, or you're going to defend your population just by simply completing some missions. Now, there are missions where you have to get it down with a Molotov cocktail, or get down with some specific weapons, or I don't know, revive your teammates, whatever it is. So keep the hard ones for the beginning and keep the easy ones for the end. Now, why is that, guys? Why would you think that when you're just getting started you gotta use the hard ones? So the thing is, in the end of your 12-week cycle, you're gonna have your population risked by 100%, and if you don't complete your mission, then you're pretty much gonna start all over again, and that's not a cool thing, guys. So you gotta keep the easy missions. For example, get 5 special executions, or get like 5 downs, or get 5 downs with the, I don't know, semi-auto weapon. It really doesn't matter, but keep the easy ones for you for the end, and keep the hard ones for the beginning. And even though you don't complete them in the beginning, that really doesn't matter, because your population isn't in that much risk as it is in the very end. So, going to my number 9 tip, sprinting. So sprinting is actually not that great thing in The Last of Us. Now, most multiplayer games don't have sprinting, and The Last of Us actually has, but you don't have to use it that often as some people do. Now, when you sprint near an enemy and you don't know he's there, he's gonna know you're there because you're gonna appear on his minimap as a red dot, and he's actually gonna know where your place is. Now you could use this in a more tactical way to kind of lure your enemy in a place where you're expecting him and just take him out by simply running all over him or all around him, and that will actually lure him and get his attention to you. So guys, you gotta keep that in mind and just don't sprint all the time. So my last tip for you at number 10, guys, is actually about the shivs. Now the shiv is a really huge part, or a big part, of the multiplayer in The Last of Us, because you know it's a kind of cool animation that you get, and it's a one-hit kill, but only if your enemy is stunned. So now here's a little thing for you guys. If you're somewhere in a corner or just sitting and camping, and then you hear some footsteps of an enemy coming from behind. Now most of the players in your lobby, guys, are gonna have the shiv ready on go. So if you hear someone coming from behind, turn around as quick as you can, because if you're facing face to face to the enemy, he can't actually shiv you. He only can shiv you from behind or if you're stunned. So if you're actually gonna look at him, he's not gonna be able to shiv you. So that's a good thing, and then you can take him out or just hope to get a kill. Now the best thing, or there is a perk actually called the cover training that actually gives you a shiv each time you spawn, and I use it all the time. It's a pretty useful perk, and you won't have to worry about making or crafting shivs, and just keep the items to craft some other stuff. Now if you craft a smoke bomb and use it on an enemy and then run towards him and just shiv him, that's the best combination that I have learned, and I think it's the best one that you can ever use. So he's stunned, and then you run to him, you sprint to him, and then shiv him, press triangle, and you're gonna shiv him, and that's gonna kill him. And that's a pretty cool strategy, guys. So here are my 10 tips, guys. Leave a comment, subscribe for more, guys. Let me know if this actually helped you, and I really did put a lot of effort in this video. So if you did enjoy, please hit the like button, subscribe for more, guys, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.